If you want to get legitimately ripped, the worst way to do this is trying to track how many calories you burn while exercising. And I'll tell you why. For a lot of you, getting ripped would require you to lose body fat. Some of you need to gain muscle and lose body fat. Some of you watching this, you have a lot of muscle already. You just can't see the definition because you have so much fat on top of it. So it is true that to look ripped, most of you need to lose body fat. And a lot of times I see people turning to trying to track how many calories they're burning while working out in order to create this caloric deficit that should, in theory, add up to fat loss. And that's not incorrect. However, you're over here playing checkers and your body is playing chess. And what I mean by that is when you try to burn off fat through burning calories during exercise, what you're not aware of is your body picks up on that. And even though it may be totally safe and totally healthy for you to get very lean, your body doesn't want to do that. Your body wants to do one thing, and that is to survive. So even though you want to lose the last 10 pounds of belly fat to be able to see your abs again, your body does not want to do that because your body wants to keep a little bit of extra fat, especially around your waist where it's easy for your body to carry that extra fat, because that's essentially safer for survival, right? There are so many things built into our body that are designed to hold on to a little bit of extra fat because, again, a long time ago that would have increased our chance of survival. So that's what your body is designed to do. Your body does not care about you getting the six pack back. And so as soon as you start approaching fat loss as I've got to override survival mechanisms that are built into my body, designed to help my body hang on to fat, this whole process can become a lot more straightforward. So something that I see that's really common with the people that I work with and my clients is a lot of times I'll start working with guys who are tracking their calories burned, again, during exercise, and they're wondering why it's not adding up to fat loss. So things that are common that I see a lot is people tracking with exercise trackers. So things like Oura rings, or, you know, if you wear a Whoop, or maybe you go to Orange Theory and you see how many calories you burn during those workouts. Or if you're someone who does cardio regularly, obviously the treadmill is going to tell you how much you've burned, you know, during a session of cardio. And again, those things would add up to fat loss if your body didn't have other ways of adapting to save calories burned in other places. And one of those adaptations, I have this written on the board behind me, is called NEAT. And NEAT, this is probably backwards for you guys. NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And that's basically just a really complicated way of saying all of the calories burned that are not trackable through exercise. So examples of NEAT. Again, this is going to be calories that you burn through movement and activity that you're unaware of. So something like bouncing your leg, like if you sit at your desk and you bounce your leg or you fidget, those would be examples of NEAT. Pacing on a phone call, standing up instead of sitting down. And again, all these things are sub-perception. It's stuff that you're not even aware that you're doing. And sounds like it wouldn't be a big deal, but we've seen in certain studies that when you start to do things like you're burning more calories to lose weight through your workouts, when your body picks up on that, your body can down-regulate NEAT so much so that you could be burning 500 fewer calories per day because you're moving less in terms of NEAT. So that's a big deal. Also, like on a weekly basis, let's say you're burning 500 fewer calories per day because your NEAT has down-regulated, which 500 calories per day over the course of a week adds up to 3,500 calories that you could be basically not burning because of down-regulated NEAT, because your body picked up on you working out more and burning more calories. And again, it can adapt in that big of a way. And what's crazy is, like, over the course of a week, 3,500 calories, if you guys didn't know, to burn 1 lousy pound of body fat, you have to create a 3,500 calorie deficit. So yeah, you may be tracking all these calories that you're burning during your workouts, but your body could be over here sort of working against you to save all of those calories by just moving less. And that's just one of so many ways that your body can sort of outsmart you to hang on to body fat. And I know it's really frustrating if you're someone who is, in fact, training really hard or working out really regularly and you're not seeing it show up as results in the mirror. Okay, hopefully you guys are still here. It's not all bad news because even though you will never be able to train your way to a caloric deficit, there are other really powerful ways that you can gain back the leverage that you've lost from your body adapting to your efforts. So what I call this is metabolic leverage, and the best way to get actually an advantage for burning body fat, just like your body can work against you, you can prompt your body in ways to get it to do a lot of the work for you if you know the right things to do. And the easiest way for me to simplify this, and the best way for you to get in control of how your body is responding to your workouts, is actually by focusing on diet. So again, really impossible to do it through workouts, very easy to do it through diet. And to give you guys an example of how powerful metabolic leverage is when you know how to put the right foods on your plate, let me show you this. This is software, first of all, that I created for my clients so that they can easily see if they're making progress or not. First of all, if you guys have body fat to lose and you're not tracking your weight, then your plan is probably not working. Like, you should not just know if you're losing weight, but you should know your rate of loss per week to make sure that you're not plateaued with fat loss. Anyway, that's another story for another time. But this is a client I started working with 6 weeks ago, and he's dropped 11 pounds. I don't know if you guys can see this. He started at 219 up here 6 weeks ago. He's now 208. And he's dropped 11 pounds in 6 weeks, and I did not touch his workouts. This guy has a good amount of muscle, and all he needs to do to look really, really good is lose the fat on top of the muscle. So did not touch his workouts. He's doing exactly the same routine. He had been plateaued for years, wasn't dropping a single pound. All we did was optimize the way that he is eating. It's kind of funny because last week on our call, he knows that he's dropped like a significant amount of weight in 6 weeks. And again, he had been stuck for years before working with me. And last week on our call, he said, so when does this stop working? Because he's also not slashing calories. I actually have him eating more to gain metabolic leverage. And he's feeling that, right? Like, he's kind of feeling the best of all worlds. Normally you have to like sacrifice your energy or your favorite foods to drop body fat. And it's this big sacrifice of like, what am I gonna have to give up in order to finally get lean? And he's experiencing the opposite, where he's eating more, has more energy, is sleeping great, and is also dropping fat very effectively and efficiently. And he said, when is this gonna stop working? Like, in other words, this seems too good to be true. But again, the truth is, if you know how to get your body to do the work for you, the whole process can go a lot better. Anyway, lots to say about metabolic leverage. Again, getting lean and looking ripped is just not something you can achieve through workouts alone. Obviously, that's part of it, but there are just too many ways that your body can outsmart you if that's all you're doing in order to get there. So lots to say about metabolic leverage. This is something that I teach my clients, and it's why my clients get lean on time without plateauing and are able to keep the results long-term without having to follow super restrictive diets or live in the gym or do hours of cardio every day. So if you want to learn more about metabolic leverage, I'm going to be doing a live training this Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. If you want an invite to that live training, it's not going to be on here. I'm going to do it somewhere else. So if you want an invite, just respond back to this story, and obviously I'll share all the details with you so I can see you there. But yeah, if you have questions as far as why you're working out all the time and not seeing results, this would be a perfect place to ask those questions. And